nuts. Okay, here's something you should never do.
All right, y'all are getting ready to see the video that we've been waiting to start on this project here. This is the 1976 camper van that we're doing a four-wheel drive conversion on. This is for our buddies down at Prism Supply. Jake owns this van that owns Prism Supply. So this is one we've really been looking forward to. We're behind schedule on getting started on it where we wanted to be, but we got a good jump on it. You're getting ready to see a lot of that. And if you want to see about this van, Seth is going to leave a link to Prism Supply's YouTube channel. You check them out anyway, whether you want to see the link to this van or not. But it's actually a video of them when they went to pick this van up. They bought the van, bought a motorcycle, hooked it to a trailer, and drove it all the way home all in one trip. So y'all check that out. It's pretty cool, and pretty cool that we get to do the conversion on it. So thank y'all. That's what you're going to see. All right. You mind going outside?
I didn't know which way he was filming.
He's filming over here. I just don't want you in here.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was. Oh, you said get back on that side. You said outside.
Get back outside. Where's the whoa? Yeah. I had it in my hand.
All right, I'm ready. All right, we're getting ready to lift it up, get the suspension motor and everything out from under it. We just got two bolts on each side, so Ivan's gonna zip them out as soon as he finds the.
I'll just as soon as I find it, I'll zip them right out.
He just had it.
No big deal.
Show me what bolts are taking out there. These are the two on the top. There's 4 on each side. 2 you have to get from the inner. These are the 2 that we leave to drop in the final so we can have access to it outside, lower it down, and drop it real nice.
Right. Okay. You're good to go. Ready to go? All right, we're gonna try to. We're gonna start raising it up and see if it comes out. We may have to pry the transmission out some, but
I'll try to bump
it up.
Hold on.
The transmission
Nice bump jerking.
Okay.
What? That nice bump jerking you were doing.
Yeah. She was coming, man. Power of the bump.
All right.
Bumping. Free bird?
Yeah, let's make sure it don't flip over backwards.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say this. Come on.
Oh, it's sliding forward, so just chalk it up or something.
I think it's okay.
This is the metal.
All squeaky, done it again. You want to move it all the way back out? Get it out from under there. 2 on each side.
Yeah.
Can you build me a little rear end and a seat to that and let me ride in one?
I would love to see that.
Hey, when we get fundage, we'll be riding stuff like that.
That's how easy it is to have a four-wheel drive motor.
That's right.
That's it.
It's a 292, right?
Is that a good one?
Well, you know, the big 292, like you put in big dump trucks and stuff.
Right.
But it's track, box track.
Good transmission.
That probably pulled it good, didn't it?
All right, we got it out. It's a 292 that was in it with a 3-speed. We're going back with a 350 fuel injected V8 and automatic, but we didn't actually pull the head off of this motor. Another guy had done some work on it for him, was going to repair the engine for him, and when he pulled the head off, can't remember if I think the block was cracked, but you can see whatever problem it had was in this cylinder here. So at that time they decided that he just rather than put money in this, he just wanted to go ahead and do a 4-wheel drive conversion and V8. And with this thing being a camper van like this, it really will be a whole lot cooler 4-wheel drive, because that's what it ought to be, is 4-wheel drive. So we finally, Jake, we're behind a little bit, but we're gonna get you done, man. I promise. And it's gonna be badass. We think we've got the front figured out, and it kind of be similar to the way we do. We want to try to get it as close to the way we build our kits that we build now with the front plate. The challenge, which is not really a big challenge, was the way this is not flat. But we've got that figured out, where we're going to be able to come out with a plate just past these holes right here, and then we will work with our where our spring hangers go. Whereas right here, what we'll do on this side, whereas our frame usually comes straight here, we'll have to build an end rigger here, and to be able to mount our spring hanger at the front here, because we work with square body Chevrolet differentials, and their center to center spring pads spacing on the differentials is 31.5 to 32 inches. So that's what we're working off of. Whereas, you know, some people might say, well, why don't you just put a Ford in there? It's already at 37 inches. That's not the way we do it. So we're not gonna do it that way. This side over here,
I can see your light.
is
There we go.
pretty straight in line, but the way the steering box is mounted, we've got this dip down. We've got to work with this flat plane back here. So we've got it figured out how we're going to be able to make our spring hanger up here. It's going to cause the way we do our axles is we mount them about 1.5 inches to 2 inches forward in the wheel well. And the reason we do that is because the wheel well openings on vans are not that big, and you can't really cut them open, and you wouldn't want to. So when you got your leaf spring up here mounted at a solid point, you've got your shackle back here. When the springs compress, it pushes the shackle back at the backs, and it also, when it does that, the axle moves back in the wheel well. So if you don't move the axle forward, when the spring compresses, especially if you're turning, it's going to push the axle back, and you're going to get into your fender back here, and we don't want to do that. So we're going to have to move the axle forward like we always do, and that pushes the spring hangers out just a little bit past the front bumper on the front mounting place for the bumper. These will actually be a little bit more because this is not flat. It's not a straight flat plane. It sticks back, so they'll stick out a little bit, but I think we got it all figured out where it's going to look good. It's going to look pretty much, when you look under it, you look at it, we hope you say, man, it looks like it came from the factory. So,
And what about the engine cradle in the back
engine
part?
cradle, we're pretty much going to be able to use the engine cradle we already use. We're just going to have to modify it just a little bit because there is about a little over 1/8 of an inch difference in the widths back there, and the width is not much, but just enough to make it where you got to change it. The pieces, the mounts that we put at the back for the shackle hangers, I don't think we're going to be able to have to change anything with those. They're going to work out just like they normally do.
Okay.
The other challenge we're going to have is the steering, because We don't know exactly what we're gonna do with it yet because the leaf spring will be coming right here. So it's gonna be, it may interfere with this pitman arm. So we're gonna get the axle mounted under there, the springs mounted, and then work around that because the springs have got to be where they're going to be. I mean, that's where they're going to be. So we always work with what is known, and then we modify around it. Ideally, it would be great to mount the steering box perpendicular like they are on the later model vans, but that's going to mean changing the steering column that comes through the firewall because they come at a different angle when they come through the firewall. And actually the steering column, you can see how this steering column sticks out about 6 inches out from the firewall. The later model vans, it only sticks out about 2 inches in order to make that bend to come straight down to the steering box. So that's one of those things. We don't know exactly what we're going to do yet. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but we'll figure it out.
Cool.
And of course the rear, no different in the rear. We'll do the rear just like we always do. We're probably going to do a shackle flip on this one with the 1-ton springs. It should put it right at the right height like it's supposed to, just like we did on your van. And making the transmission cross member will be the same as we do on all the other ones too. We'll might get a little bit more fancy with this cross member though.
I hear you. What the heck?
Okay, that's it. You guys, good luck.
All right, I'm cutting out the rear pieces that we make for the rear shackle hangers. And this steel that we found, I don't know what we're gonna do when we run out of it because it works out so good for the curve and the frame and the way we cut it. So this is the last piece we have of it, and try to just get as many of it out as we can because it has worked out so good for us. But anyway, this is the part that we'll weld the piece on where the shackle hanger goes at the back where the rear of the leaf springs. And it looks like on this van, even though it is a 76, the way we're making those are going to work out and be the same. So we're going to try to build them just like we do on the later models. And yeah, go from there. Front plate seems to work out real good. We're mocking up where the rear shackle hangers are going to be used. We're kind of piecing it up off our jig just to make sure everything's going to be right. So what I'll do, I'll get both of these clamped up, then I'll measure and make sure they're centered in the van, where locate the front differential centered in the van. And if that's where it is, we'll mark where these need to be welded up, and that's that's what we're gonna do, weld it up. Ivan is actually making a template for a gusset that we've got to make up there on the front. Different than what we do on the other, the way we do our other kits on the later model vans, but I think we're figuring it out.
Yeah.
We're just taking a little time to get it all done.
Experimenting here. All right, so what did we just do? We have the two
Yeah, we've got
rear
them.
shackle hangers.
Got the rear shackle hangers. Mine are where they're gonna go. We just did a center to center measurement, and it's dead on of what equal to what the spring pads are on the differential.
And what is that again?
With the measurement,
Yeah.
31 and about 31 3/4 on that differential. So
Okay.
we are. I think we're good. I think we're good. Of course, we're not gonna put everything in now. We'll get everything packed up, set it down on the differential, measure, make sure we're squared, make sure we're centered, but I'm pretty sure we will be. And then we'll do the final weld on it. Get it all in. We'll get these pieces braced up and gusseted good. We'll weld them in.
Right, because we make the gusset pieces, which is basically a wall that connects all this, and then your gussets.
We'll cut a 1/4-inch plate wall that will weld to this, weld to the frame, and then there'll be two
Triangles.
3/8 triangle gussets there. Probably, I mean, maybe overkill, but it ain't going nowhere.
No.
The van will break around that.
Small adjustment.
Now I can see the drips on the frame now.
Yeah, you can see it right here
Yeah,
too.
fill right here, and then fill right there. Its plate could still go down a little bit.
Where? Which way?
Well, you feel how the top of the bumper is?
Mm-hmm.
Plate, now fill it on this side.
Do you think it's adjusted right?
I think so.
All right.
I think it is.
What's it look like? No, I want to look what y'all looking at.
Oh, well, come on this side of it. Come on this
I mean, I know I'm here in real life, but y'all still don't. Pretty good, huh?
We'll mark the holes.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and mark the fargan things.
Funny joke, boy.
Can you say that?
Huh?
Can you say that?
Hmm?
Fargan?
If you ever seen the movie Johnny Dangerously, I think it was made in 1991. But
Johnny Dane.
that's how we can
Ah.
bend the rules a little bit.
What Michael Keaton in that?
Yeah.
Chuck
Exactly.
Piscopo was too, wasn't he?
And
Chuck Piscopo in it.
I Love Raymond Dad was on it. He was the main dude, one of the main dudes.
So we got an assortment of holes we need to drill here. Got 1/2 inch where the bumper will mount back through, and then where the grill is held on, we got 3/8 holes there. So I'll show you here. That will be 1/2 inch, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, back down to 1/2 inch, and that's where she'll bolt. What we thinking? What we got?
Well, we got the front plate is made with the contour bend in it.
Looks good.
We were able to utilize these 3 bolts that held the grill on it bolted to the front bumper. These are actually the 2 bumper bolts. When the bumper bolt's on, they'll come in from this side, and we're going to drill 2 more holes here just for good measure to hold it on there. And then the spring hangers will come out here on these, and we'll have a plate that goes down and bolts down under the frame here with the spring hanger on this side. And then this side, Ivan has cut a piece of cardboard to make a plate for this side, and then this side, since it hangs in out here in no man's land, we'll put gussets on this, on the side of the frame to support the spring hanger on this side. Gotcha.
Oh man, you're not gonna be able to see any of it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna work out good.
You'll be able to. The shackles will drop down, obviously, but as far as the kit, it's not hanging any lower than the bumper.
Okay.
Factory, here we come.
Awesome. Yeah, that was what we were wanting to see. So you won't be able to see any of this once the bumper's on. You'll be able to see the shackle, the spring hangers hanging down below a little bit, which is just no way you can get around it. You see them on a regular truck anyway. So you'll see a little bit of them hanging down and sticking out a little bit because you have to do that to move the axle forward. So I think it'll look good. Okay, we got the 350 in here that's going in the 76 van here on the lift. This motor, I know it's not real clean, but this is a excellent running motor. It came out of a 96 model GMC, which was the last year for TBI. The truck had less than 100,000 miles on it, but it was eat up with rust. That's why we were able to snag a motor with so low miles, and you usually don't find them like that in those year models. But we're gonna get it separated from the transmission, get it on the engine stand, get it all cleaned up. It'll look like a new one when it goes in the van. There we go. Yeah, and the motor's tilted forward, so we didn't get a complete reading on the dipstick. But look how clean that oil is that was in it.
There we go.
It was just a good motor. You can't. This is proof you cannot judge a book by its cover. It's what's on the inside that counts.
Right.
All right, we just pulled the valve cover off because we'll pull both valve covers off to clean them up and paint them. But this is why this motor was. You can't judge a book from the cover. Look how clean this thing is on the inside. That just means no gunk. That thing has been taken care of. The oil change has been changed regularly in it. So that's what you like to see. I can even see down in there in the valley under the intake, and it's just as clean as it was when it was new. So, you know,
It's not wanting to focus, but it's in. Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard to find old school small blocks that are still in this good a shape. And I know the crowd out there, y'all gonna say, why don't y'all put an LS in it? Why don't you put an LS in it? And I know LSs are great. I like them. There's nothing in the world wrong with them. They're the thing of the future for sure. They make plenty of power. But like I always say, LS swaps are for quitters. That means you gave up on a good old small block. No, we just love the old school small blocks. Nothing against LSs at all. We just like old school small blocks. So we're pretty close right there. Pretty close. Okay. What we are trying to figure out here and what makes these older vans a little more difficult is the way that frame rail kicks down on that side, driver's side, compared to the passenger side. So we're just trying to figure out a way that we can get all this stuff to fit up there and look uniform and not look out of place. So we have crude ways of doing it. Somebody that knows what they're doing will probably look at us and say, well, you idiots, all you gotta do is this, and this.
Yeah, see,
But you're not
we
here.
don't have this, and this.
Yeah, we don't.
We got this, and this. That's all we got.
That's all we get. So we're doing what we know. We're doing what we know. That's gonna be pretty close, ain't it?
Looks pretty well to
I
me.
mean,
There.
we won't know until we tack. Hey,
Just ate a beef stick. He's ready to work.
well, go to work.
Those stinking stained beef broth.
Yeah, if you want to tack it right there, I think we're gonna be pretty close. Give me a hole. Tack it there. Just a tack it. Let's just see.
Very light tack.
It's gotta be done.
He's had a right idea, dude.
Okay.
Oh my.
This might be the way to do it.
Might be.
Well, what is happening with it? I mean, I know what's going on, but they don't.
Okay, what we did, this is the jig, the top jig that we made the first time we were making the jig for the other vans. Which, what it does is it simulates where the leaf springs go based on 2 holes that are already in the frame of the vans. So I just thought about it, we still had it laying out there. And we have been using super lift springs on our conversions. Well, this one we decided to go with rough country, which is a little bit better quality, a little beefier, and the spacing, the width that the bushings are is 3.5 inches, where the other ones we were using was a little over 3.5 inches. So that's why we made the new jig. But we still had this jig with the 3.5 inch spacing, so we're going to use this to make sure we got everything right. It's basically, if we're just using this like we got on our jig over there turned upside down, we're just putting this part that simulates the leaf springs up to it. So I think it'll make it a lot easier. Because
Everything.
now we know where everything, like this, these pieces back here simulate where these go. So we take these and it's time to make these pieces. That's where they go. They fit around that. Of course, we'll have to open them up. You can imagine it'd be. Anyway, you get the idea.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's the way it'll get like this. So we know exactly where to put these in the right spot. So I think it'll work out good for us. Okay, Seth has been over there cleaning parts and getting stuff ready. And me and Ivan have been over here getting this stuff figured out to make sure the placement is right. And it has not been easy because of the differences in the size of the frame rails. But I think we've got everything tacked in where it needs to go. So we're going to start building up around it. And I think it'll be good. Everything measures out like it's supposed to be. But what we will do, this is just me, I always have. We won't get everything permanent until we actually set it down on the front differential and make sure when we look at it with our eyes, it is placed where it's supposed to be. Because
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. So you can measure and get everything exactly where it's supposed to be. But once you put it together, sometimes it'll be off. So we feel good about where it is. We're going to tack it all in, get the differential sitting under there, make sure it's all right, and then we're going to go to town building. How you feel?
I feel pretty good about it.
Okay, here,
Yeah, I'm gonna get a good shot at that so they can kind of
we've got, of course, the motor and transmission and all is not in the van, but we put these spring hangers, we tacked them in where we were pretty close to the same way they were on the vans we did the kits for. And the reason we tacked them and didn't permanent weld them because we wanted to get the axle in to see. And we're gonna have to move it back because I know we don't have the weight of the motor in there, but it's not gonna make a lot of difference. These shackles need to be kicked back just a hair, if not straight up and down, really kick back a hair. And you can see that we like to have the axle a little forward in the wheel well because it moves back when the shackles work, but this is too far forward. So we're gonna have to come back probably 2 inches.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Probably 2 inches with the front mounts to get the tire mounted in there where it needs to go. But I was worried about the height, being able to clear that size tire, but I think we're gonna be able to clear that size tire just fine. We just need to move it.
It just needs to be relocated a bit.
Move back about 2 inches. So that's the difference in the way the vans are made. That's one of the things we knew we were gonna have to work out. So, which honestly it will. I think it'll probably help because these won't need to be sticking so far out in front of the van. Of course, the bumper would hide it anyway, but we've got to completely redo everything under here now because of the way that angle. It ain't like it's on a flat surface where we can move that thing straight back.
Mm-hmm.
It goes down like this. So when we move it, if we move them back like that, it's going to be more than just moving it straight back. It's also going to push it down and change everything. So we've got to. That's what we got to do.
Relocation.
That's the way it is. Yep.
Alright, I'm about to cut them off, redo them, move them back 1.5 inches, whatever, and go again.
Yo.
And we'll be right. So, here we go. That's it. Nothing else to say. You got it.
Yeah.
That's about where we're going to need to be.
Right, Jan. And now we need to duplicate again this slope that's on this side with the frame. That's not on this side. Lots of figuring, lots of science, and lots of thinking going on in the brains, but
This is not easy to work.
where are we at now? What's happening?
Well, I think before. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just.
I think before when we showed you, we had it sitting down, but the axle, it was too far forward. So
Right.
we moved the hangers back, and we don't have high-tech measuring equipment and stuff, so we just do what we can with what we have with good ideas. So we got this piece of rebar here. It's square, straight, so we know we are dead on going through. We got the measurements. Moved it back about 1.5 inches. So we're getting ready to set it down and see what that does. And what we did here is, of course, it's all tacked up and unfinished. We'll take it down and finish everything. But we took these triangle steel plates and basically duplicated the way the frame does here. It's got the exact same slope and angle, so we could weld these spring hangers on, and it would look that they would look the same. It wouldn't be, we wouldn't have to have two different style spring hangers on each side. So we just think it'll look better when everything's finished up and under the van. But right now we're gonna put the axle under and make sure that we've got the right distance back on the axle. We don't want to have to do it, but if it's not, this stuff is just tacked in. We can cut it off and reposition it. But I think we feel pretty good about where it's going to be now. And it's we're doing a lot of guessing too, because we know the weight of the engine, transmission, and transfer cases out in there. So we're kind of calculating and compensating for it too. So we'll see. But I will say there's a lot of differences. Even once you get to start working on it, just looking at it at the eye, you see the differences. But when you really start working, there's a lot of differences in these and the models we make the kits for. So I don't know. We're still in limbo about the kits.
Sometimes, all right, when we cut with the when we cut out our own pieces out of this certain metal, they or a certain piece we have that's already contoured and bent and welded. Sometimes they bend up and down and stuff, which is fine. You just got to make sure your pieces is welded on nice and straight, which is what we're talking about right now. Like this one on this side's fine. This one is just a smidgen out of level, which is fine. You just got to do that before you make it permanent.
Yeah, just got to make a little adjustments to compensate to get everything true and level. And we're all sitting on that.
I mean, you can fabricate all your parts, but you still got to put them parts together, and they gotta jive right and look right. So that's what we're doing right now. Not a big deal at all. Just a little before we weld them. Hey, bud, what do you think? Go over and see what you think. Go over and look at that back one.
What if I knock that shackle out?
Shackle out of whackle.
I think I did, maybe.
Well, yeah.
Okay. We put everything under here yesterday afternoon when we got done. We were happy. All the measurements were dead on. We finally got the axle back and forward exactly where we wanted it. And when you take the measurements on the tape, everything's perfect. But when I walked down here this morning and I looked down the side, the passenger side tire is sticking out more on the van, probably less than 1/8 of an inch. But when I look down the side of it, I can see it, and it's driving me freaking crazy. So as much as we hate to do it, we're going to cut it off and move it over maybe a 1/16 of an inch, because all we got to do is half. But it's just one of those things.
A 1/16 of an inch.
It drives me crazy when I see something going down
Show
the road.
me what that is.
If I see something going down the road and I see one
You
tire
probably
sticking
can't-
out more than the other,
You probably can't even. I mean, it's a 1/16 is. You can't. My point is,
Nobody else would probably ever see it. Nobody would probably ever see it, but we see it. I know it's there, and it's gonna drive me crazy if we let it go like that. So
that's the
we're
difference.
gonna cut it off.
We ain't gonna let no 1/16 of an inch go out of the shop. We're gonna be dead on or no on.
And the thing about it is it when you put the tape on it and measure it, it all measures right. But I've said it before. I'm more about eyeballing it. Even though it measures right.
If it don't look right, they ain't no count.
Look right. I'm not.
So what you're saying is it can be a little wonky, but it has to look right.
Oh, man, I don't have my.
Yeah, I was about to.
No.
It's just
yes,
driving me crazy. You can ask. I've been walking around here for 45 minutes, going back and looking and going over this side and looking, and it's so minute, but it's driving me crazy. So we're gonna.
I'll tell you what.
We're gonna cut it off again.
This time though, you gonna look before we do anything.
Well, I did. We did look, but when you get it, until it actually sits down on the ground, I mean, it's just.
Well,
It's just part of it. This is just part of it. It's part of it. You know. We could even probably, if we wanted to, we could put like a 16th inch spacer on that side before you put the wheel on.
But that ain't.
But, then
But
what's
is that
gonna happen
right?
The first time you go get the tires changed, somebody's gonna say, "Man, look at this crap. They done did this just to fix their mistake." So we're gonna fix our mistake right.
And then they're gonna be like, where did you find a 16th of an inch spacer anyway? Like, where do they even
Who would
find
do that?
Like, that probably has to. That's
Washers
probably
behind
100.
every
Like,
stud.
probably like a $500 piece of just to machine it. Like, just to, you want a what?
You want
You know?
Anyway, it's
yeah.
time. It's the right thing to do. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm sure we'll screw up somewhere else, but we'll make this right.
No.
Good? Yeah. I set myself on fire one
Oh yeah, how is that burn? I can't see it with that bright light on it. Ah,
I'm going to get over there.
it's too many people in the shop.
This is what I hate though. It's not being able to walk around and do and excuse me, pardon me, tripping over stuff.
day.
What do you mean?
This is our sophisticated jig we made here to keep everything in line. Okay.
Is that all you needed to do?
Well, yeah, what we did, we tacked these in place so we know that these two pieces, these two spring hangers will be true to each other. So when we move them over, they'll move exactly the same together, and we won't have to worry about one at a time and getting them right back. So, but all we've got to do, we literally are going to just move these over probably 1/8 of an inch and retack them, because that's all that tire right there is probably sticking out. Quite 1/8 of an inch. And like I said, the viewing audience would never notice it, but we will.
Regular people wouldn't know. I'm doing a lot.
Yeah. Probably gonna might have to slide it your way a little bit, so.
All right, come on with it. Okay, I slid over a little.
Ready, Ivan?
Yep.
Okay, we're touching down. I'm in the hole over here just about. Hold on. Alright, now I'm in the hole.
And we're in.
Alright,
And
Put a little.
all right. Let me get out. Let me get it. Let me get it.
flashbacks.
Man, that's pretty good.
Oh. I think it's a 32nd this way.
It may be.
Yeah. It could be a 64th. What do you think, Bub?
At first glance, it looks like it's just ever so slightly over on the driver's side. It just, I mean, I'm talking. But I think we could knock it. I think it's more of the leaf springs.
Oh, the only thing that's gonna get nuts.
Bolt, man.
We are dead on.
Dead on.
Hammer me. Hand me a hammer.
We don't have one of those.
There was one right under Ivan's toolbox.
It's the first one I grabbed.
Okay.
So, was it all worth it?
It's gonna be. It's gonna be all worth it. Yes, it's gonna look good. It's gonna be right. Jake's gonna thank us. He's gonna be like, thank you for not leaving it a 16th of an inch. Well, it's okay, no problem. We got it going.
Looks good.
Whoa. You guys. Whoa. What am I hitting here with my hand? Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's the speedo cable. Don't worry about that fuel line up the top of it.
What? That's yeah. I saw it. It should be.
Alright, now we got Gappa Lampos back here.
Oh.
Alright.
So, explain to me, since you have a light, exactly what's going on here, and we can get a good video of it.
Well, this is our rear shackle mount mounting piece. And now that with the gussets is structurally sound on the inside here, we're going to finish welding the plate that juts out for the gusset. It wraps around the frame here.
As you can see, I got a little Gapolian to fill.
Yeah.
Gapolian dynamite right here.
Alright, so we're filling in the gap.
Well, that was on the back side, yeah, but it's
Wow,
looking
that is hot.
it's looking pretty good. Yeah, it's hot. It's feeling head.
Ah, your
Yeah.
little handy dandy light.
But yeah.
What a nice weld.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Alright, and did you do the other
I
side?
did the
Oh,
others.
I see it.
Yeah,
yes,
but
yes.
I still got a little bit on this side up top. I can't get it right now.
I can maneuver over there. I see. Yeah.
But that gap, yeah, it looks a lot cool, better, don't it?
Did you feel the gap?
Oh man, come here and look at this gap. Ain't
She's
no,
gapless.
ain't no more. Fix the Grand Canyon's what I did.
Ah.
Yeah, if the way these frames go out, it does leave a gap back here because of the way the piece was made. So
Yeah.
it's just part of what you got to do, but it's nothing that's gonna.
But even if you did
hurt
weld
the
the rest
structure.
of it, and you're like, man, I can't. If you can't weld it pretty or something, it's like that. You know, if you weld all that, you ain't going nowhere anyway.
Yeah,
if you weld
the van will break around that piece.
but you're, you know, it's just preference, I guess.
So I guess as long as it's just sturdy. Welded in there sturdy.
Oh yeah. She looks pretty good to me.
Nice.
Looks pretty good to me.
It look very good.
Alright, well, getting the rear end out of her. We got the rear spring hangers almost done.
I don't know. It might have been.
But everything's tied in.
Up a little bit.
What you had is happening down either way.
Yeah, it was coming out pretty easy.
A little easier.
Ah, there we go.
A lot easier. Drop this in my fire. Oh. This is mine. I've been correct about your assumption there.
Well, it not go forward anymore. I'm gonna pull it and bend the spring.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll pop out. You ready?
Yeah. All right. Yo!
You're not ready.
I was ready. I'm very ready.
All right, we got the rear end out from under, and actually it went pretty good. There was only one bolt seized in the leaf spring on that side. Usually all, especially on a vehicle this old, all of the bolts will be seized inside the bushings on the leaf springs, but luckily we only had one. So, but we're putting 1-ton springs back in here anyway. They got good bushings in them, so all good.
All squared away.
It's got the hover lift on it now.
Yeah, yeah.
This is Back to the Future.
You start lining those up. This in.
All right, what we're doing, we're mocking up the rear end now to see if these springs, we think these springs with the way they are now and those shackles, it may sit up a little too high in the back. So what we wanted to do was mock it up, set it down on the front, before Ivan, we pulled the front plate up and Ivan finished welding it up. That way, if we needed to make any adjustments, me and Seth could be working on what we needed to do as far as to level it up, and then Ivan could be welding out. We're just trying to utilize the time as best as possible.
We're trying to kill one bird with about 5 rocks.
Pretty much. So, but anyway, we will be able to, we'll set it down and kind of should get a mock-up of what it looks like on all 4 tires. I think it's going to be sitting boogie van style in the back, but we'll see.
Ah, I see.
Down slow. Okay. Alright, come on now. Ah!
Thing's a little late on its auto dim, ain't it?
Go ahead.
Alright, folks. We got everything sat down so we could figure out the front and rear spring heights. And while we're figuring out the rear, we tacked the front just now that holds the tubes and the tube shackle holders are tacked on. We're going to take them loose and lift it all up. I'm going to take this front plate and try to get started on prettying it up and making all the necessary corrections, and then we'll weld the back. And that's pretty much where we're at, ain't it?
Yeah, and we did find out when we set it down with the rear springs, these 1-ton springs we thought we were going to use, I was thinking we were going to be sitting high in the back. We're actually sitting low.
Way low.
Yeah, matter of fact, if you want to back up and see, the springs are actually flat, so we got to get different springs for the rear.
You would think these 1-ton springs would be holding some arc. Let's see. But you can see it's pretty flat back there. So the whole van kind of sits ever so motorboats back. But while we had it at this point, like Ivan said, we're just wrapping up the front and then
We're just stuck looking at it.
I know, man. I feel like we've just been looking at it for eons.
Yeah, we really have.
Measuring and all that
we
stuff.
really have fried our sails, man. I mean, going over it and doing it again, but I mean, it's necessary, and we got it right, and it looks good. So I'm tickled with it.
We're probably being overcautious, but
Way overcautious.
I would rather be overcautious and do it 10 times than be right than not be right.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do it 10 times and it still not be right. But
Nah.
I think we feel good about it. I know it probably looks crude now, but once we get everything cleaned up, welded up, I think it's really gonna look good. I really do. Okay, it's Saturday. You've watched a lot of the video of us getting the Prism van ready and starting the fabrication and the lifting, getting it lifted up, and I guess everything this week was going good until about Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, Wednesday was downhill from there.
We were rolling on good Wednesday, and then it's just like the wheels ran off of everything. It's like the old saying says, when it rains, it pours. And it just started raining on us, and everything that happened.
And we didn't have no umbrellas.
Man, it just went. Everything we touched. I mean, we were walking around the shop. We couldn't even hold on to wrenches and stuff like that. So, I guess Thursday we ran out of gas in the welder. So I went to Greensboro, took the bottle, rushed over to Greensboro before they closed, picked up another bottle. We hooked it up. And the gauge was on 0. We just thought we had a bad gauge because we just got back with a new bottle. And Friday we welded 15 minutes, maybe just did some tacking up some stuff, and we were out of gas. So we got an empty bottle.
Well, I
from
came
the
back
weld.
down here for lunch, and I was like, I saw that the output was like really low, and I'm like, whoa. So I started a test piece and started welding. I'm like, that don't sound right, it don't look good, like something's up. And then the tank weighs like
2 pounds.
a loaf of bread, and I'm like, that's not right.
And after thinking about it, when I loaded the tank in the van, it did feel kind of light, but I wasn't really thinking about it. I was in a hurry, but so we were planning on getting everything welded up and finished up on the front this weekend. Of course, now being Saturday, we didn't find out till last night about 5:30 that we were actually out of gas. So the place was already closed. They don't open until Monday. So then we decided we would start working on the rear to get the rear leveled up. And the springs that we had thought were going to be perfect just didn't. There's no arch in them. They're flat, so we can't use
Those are
those.
1-ton springs out of a ambulance van. Like it was,
And they should not be like that.
no.
So then we scrambled around, and we have. I don't even want to count how many times we've had it up in the air and down, changing springs and swapping around, testing, getting ride height. But we think we finally figured out what spring we need on the rear, and lucky for us, we don't have them. So we've got to find a set of springs to get that. It's
So
just we're not trying to be not really negative, but I will just say, and everybody runs into this, life don't go perfect all the time, and it just seems like sometimes when it does start going downhill, it just keeps going and going and going. So.
And honestly, if this was just some old junky van we were throwing together, I think everything would just go
Exactly.
smooth. But we're wanting everything to be, as top notch as possible and get this thing done. And it's like, all right, well, I guess that's the way it's gonna have to be.
And we're excited about it, and so we're ready to go, and we're ready to barrel through it because we're excited. But then it's just like, no, you're gonna fall down the steps, you're gonna stand up, and then we're gonna push
And
you one more
stuff,
time.
Stuff happens. It's just like the welder running out of gas. Normally that's not a big deal. We do welding well, but right now is the time we need that welder. We needed it. It ain't like okay, no big deal.
And it's not just this project going on that needs welding. There's other projects that's constantly,
We got so much stuff going on. It's just we're gonna take a breath. we're going to go on and show y'all the video of what we have. We don't have the end of what we wanted to show you, but it will come in a later video. So we're going to show that, and I guess we just wanted to let you know that, you know, if y'all have bad days and stuff goes wrong, everybody does. It's just part of life, and it happens. Just, you know, they just say how you deal with it is how you get through it, and it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. You just got to do the best you can and move on. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to, I think we're going to walk away from the shop for a little while and go cut some wood and just get the shop off of our mind and get something else going, and we'll start back fresh Monday. But as always, thank y'all for watching. Share, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out our buddies up at OK Recycling. We got a new banner of theirs hanging in the shop here, so go check them out. Look at all the stuff on there that they buy. You'll go anywhere in the country and buy some of that stuff. Check out our merch people at Renegade Supply, Renegade Tees. They handle all of our t-shirts. Go buy a t-shirt, go buy some merch. That helps us out.
And as always, ACDC.
ACDC.
Also, yeah, we are on a highway to hell.
We've been on the highway to hell this week. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh man.
So buy some merch.
We did not plan that. This was clean, so I wore it today.
Yeah. But yeah, buy y'all. You know that. We're gonna talk to y'all a little later on about some of the stuff that we've got planned that we want to do this year, and it's gonna take some money to do the projects and do the stuff we want to do. So if y'all buy some merch, that will help us out. Any kind of stuff like that. We ain't too proud. We'll take a donation. If you want to donate, we'll take that. But anyway, we got a lot of stuff planned for you guys. We've made a lot of new friends. You know, we got some stuff we plan on doing with our buddies up in Ohio, Peace and Grease, Fed Up Fab. They're moving down here right down the road from us. So we're looking forward to some other channels to collaborate with them. So y'all be sure to check those guys out. They're great people. We can't wait to get the stuff going with them. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to this year. So anyway, again, thank you guys. We didn't mean to bring you down. We just want to tell you what was going on.
But we'll be back, and everything will be fixed.
Yeah.
I'm fine. We're good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're good.
We're going to cut wood.
All right.